Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Eleanor here for Coach for Students. How are you doing? Well, today is Friday, and today I want to talk about celebrating things. So, think about the way that your week's gone, especially now with things like lockdown and restrictions are getting bigger again. So, we're doing less, we're going out less, and things just become really monotonous. It's just boring routine. Maybe you're just climbing up the walls, but just having something different to do. So quite often you end up doing things like you just end up drinking for the sake of drinking, or you have a takeaway because you're just in that rut of just not being able to be bothered to cook, or maybe going to the supermarket becomes quite tricky. So just getting the takeaway. And you actually start to lose the joy of things like takeaways and having a glass of wine and all that kind of thing. It just becomes normal and dull and boring. Um, so have a think back over your week. It's Friday, just think back over the last 7 days. Is there something that you've done that you have achieved? It can be big, it can be small. I'm not expecting you to say you've run a marathon, but just think about something that you've achieved in the last few days that you can celebrate. It could be big or small. It could be something like tidying your room, or something really, really small like that, or doing the washing up, which, to be fair, in a shared house, if somebody doesn't pull their weight with the washing up, it could end up being a mammoth task. So actually, doing something small like washing up could actually be quite a big achievement. But it could be that you've finished that essay and you've got it submitted before the deadline, you've got it in on time, and that's something really worth celebrating. But you're stuck at home, you've got this, all these restrictions. There's not really a lot that you can do to celebrate. Well, go back and think about things like this, takeaways or wine. It doesn't have to be anything alcoholic like that. It could be a cake, it could be ice cream, it could be even having something like a bubble bath, just having time to yourself. Something that you do that's just a little bit indulgent, just something that's just a bit nice, but has kind of become a bit more boring and a bit more routine just because there's just so little else going on. And kind of take that back and go, well, actually, you know what? Today I tidied my room, so I deserve a glass of wine. I've done well. I've achieved doing that. So I'm going to name this glass of wine a celebratory glass of wine. It's actually not just a normal glass of wine. It's the same wine. It's probably from the same box. If you like me, I drink box wine. It's going to be the same wine from the same box, but you're going to name it a celebratory glass of wine. And as you drink it, you're going to say how proud you are of yourself for having tidied your room or submitted an essay or kind of done whatever it is that you've achieved. And guess what? That wine will taste so much nicer because it's a celebratory reward. It's something that you're having because you've achieved something. It could be exactly the same takeaway as you had last week, but it's a celebratory takeaway to reward yourself for having completed that essay on time. Trust me, that takeaway is going to taste so much nicer than it did last week because this time you deserve it because you've done well. So when you're thinking about next week, think about what it is that you want to achieve and what you're going to do to reward yourself. And again, to take rewards do not have to be expensive. You don't have to go and buy yourself a new phone or something like that. It can be something like a bubble bath, something that is just completely free. It could be having a glass of wine or buying yourself the next brand up of ice cream, or it can be something really, really small like that. But look at kind of what it is you need to get done. Maybe it's submitting an essay, maybe it's doing some revision, maybe it's going for a walk every single day. But kind of plan that little goal in and just kind of say, you know what, on Friday, if I've achieved all of that, I can have that celebratory glass of wine. You can have that piece of cake or have that takeaway and actually enjoy it properly because it's something that you've kind of achieved and that's your reward for doing it. And trust me, that will taste so much better than if you were just to eat it anyway because it's just what you do. So give that a go and let me know how you get on with it. What is it that you're going to have as your reward? I'm sticking to my box wine. See you next week. Bye for now.